Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm standing in front of my 2016 Subaru WRX. If you're familiar with the channel, I've got a Pro Tune WRX. As the channel has been growing, I've been considering selling this car so I can get into a brand new STI and buy other sports cars to make the channel interesting. Now, we've all been told right now is one of the best times to sell your car because the used car market is hot. But I guess what I'm telling you guys in today's video is now is one of the worst times to sell your WRX or STI if you own one, and I'll convince you why. But now is one of the worst times to sell your WRX or STI if you own one. And in today's video, I'll go through exactly why that's the case, exactly why I haven't sold mine yet, and why I'm waiting to sell mine until the whole market corrects, even though it's worth more than it's ever been worth, which might sound crazy, but hear me out because I'll prove to you guys why that's the case. So let's hop into the car, take it for a drive, and let me tell you and make my case. I bet you guys are already thinking I'm crazy and you don't believe me, so let me make my case and see whether you believe me by the end of the video. Let's get into it.
So we've been hearing for a long time now, and we've been seeing with our own eyes, there's been plenty of evidence that the used car market is absolutely on fire right now. And if you've got a used car and you own it, or you've got some equity, people are selling it, liquidating it, and taking money out of cars that there shouldn't otherwise be value in. There was a little bit of caveat, and you heard it in my voice, and I said that there shouldn't otherwise be value in. So here's the deal, right? The WRX market and the STI market are up more than it's been pretty much ever. And right now you can get more money for your WRX or STI than you're gonna ever probably be able to get, because we're not gonna see a shortage like this again. So without a doubt, if you sell your car right now, you're gonna see the most amount of dollars in your pocket. If that's what it's all about for you, definitely consider selling it. But here's the problem. Unless you've got another ride, which is totally cool if you do, go sell your WRX or your STI, but unless you've got another ride or a guarantee on a good deal for a vehicle, this is where you're really gonna lose. The only time this makes sense to sell your WRX and STI if you're thinking about moving to another vehicle is to move to another vehicle that's gonna hold quite a lot of value, like the Subaru WRX and the STI in the first place. The problem is what I see a lot of people doing is they're selling their WRX and STI, they're getting into a car that's gonna depreciate like most other cars. Now let's think about that for a second. All the cars that people are selling and should sell like crazy are your trivial cars that when you drive them off their lot, drive it off the lot new, they tank in value, and they just continue to tank in value. If you know WRXs and STIs, historically these cars hold their value really well and very rarely depreciate in large chunks. A great example is I could pretty much, even if this market wasn't crazy, sell my car for exactly what I bought it because I bought it for a deal. So let's fall back for a second. The WRX's value went up. Other cars' of value has gone up. So if you're gonna sell the WRX and the STI now, you're gonna pay an inflated value for whatever other car you're gonna buy. Assuming you don't buy a car that's gonna play this depreciation game, and very few cars actually fall into this depreciation game and this, value game. So let's just say, for an example, I've got a family, I'm gonna sell my WRX and I'm gonna go buy a limited Honda Civic or Accord. And another WRX right there. So I'm gonna go and then I'm gonna pay an inflated price for that Honda, right? This is a rudimentary example. What's then gonna happen is when the market correction comes through, when it's gonna happen, it is very much gonna happen, we're probably actually gonna see a dip in value, and this could be 6-8 months from now. We're gonna see even a dip further than normal depreciation when everything normalizes, because we're gonna have a massive influx of new cars. So I've sold my WRX for more money than it's worth. I've bought now a Honda that is worth far more than it's worth. And now the Honda, when this depreciation happens, is going to take a steep dive, not only depreciate to its already depreciated value because you probably weren't the first owner or you drove it off the block because you are the first owner, and then it's gonna take even a steeper dive because we're gonna have a bigger influx of new vehicles when this whole correction happens. And the net gain loss that you're gonna experience by doing this whole, trick is actually gonna be not in your favor. So hopefully you followed there. Basically, if you're not buying a car like a Subaru, especially the Subaru WRX or STI, when the correction happens, you're gonna lose more than you've gained by selling this car at this time. And for everyone that says, oh, you're a dummy, you don't know what you're talking about, think about it for a second. This car is worth quite a lot of money. And even when the market corrects, it's still gonna hold its value like it's already done. Maybe it's gonna experience a similar dip in value when there's a bigger influx of cars. But guess what? These cars hold their value. So you're still going to have the gap between this car and probably the car you're looking at. And now, I know a lot of you guys, probably at least 50% of you guys are gonna be burning right now, because you're gonna disagree with me totally. I'm speaking to people that are looking to play the equity game in cars, make sure they're not paying to drive, making sure that they make money on their cars, and if they're not making money, at least they're not losing money. I totally understand that some of you guys are buying cars to have fun. You're buying cars understanding that they're depreciating assets and they're gonna lose money. And if you're in that boat, sell your WRX now, because you're gonna get into a newer, nicer car that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to get into, and you're gonna get way more dollars in your pocket right now. But if you're in the long game and you're trying to use the current vehicle you're in, your WRX or STI, step up into a nicer, bigger, better vehicle in the future, this is something to seriously think about. Now is not the time, because although our value has gone up, it is substantially less of an increase in our value relative to the increase in value that other cars that are worth considerably less after this correction have gone up. So let me say that again. The percentage amount our cars have gone up in the market today is smaller by a pretty large magnitude than the percentage that cars that don't hold their value as well have gone up, and that's where we lose. But I don't want to be negative, because if you're thinking about getting into another WRX or STI, although you're going to pay a premium, if you were ever thinking about buying one new and you can find one new on a lot, now is the time to do it. You're not going to get a discount with that thing out the door, but what you're going to do is you're going to get the most value for your car and put it right back into a car that's gonna hold the most possible value. And this could be a way, if you're not driving these things completely into the ground, to make a little bit of money, put it into another asset. I know it's weird to say asset and car, because that's like totally not the truth. And you can put it into the asset and potentially walk away in 2 to 3 years with a little bit more money in a negative loss than you would usually have, if that makes sense. You won't lose as much money in 2 to 3 years if you're playing that game. So I know that was a little bit of a cryptic video, but I did want to make that video because everybody in the comment section keeps saying that there are some crazy deals and they're selling the car and they're making so much money, and then you see the next car that they post and they've gone and bought like a nice Kia or a nice Honda, or they've bought a BMW. That's actually a really common one. I'm seeing a lot of people sell these cars and buy like a BMW, and I'm like, guys, think about what you're doing. And I get you might like that car, but now is a dangerous time to do it, because we do have a market correction coming. Be smart with your money. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below and let's talk about it, because I'm not trying to profess that I'm right. Just know for the blanket statement, there's something to think about here that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about, and it's putting people in dangerous positions. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me baffle about cars and, or waffle. I guess I could say waffle. Waffle about cars. There's a UK term for you. All right, cheers. Later, guys.